a little bit of background about this, our coach, Carlos Queiroz, is that he was born in Mozambique sometime way before Ghana became even independent, about some 3-4 years before then. So he has the African DNA in him. He was born in Mozambique. And then Mozambique was under the colony of the Portuguese around the time that he was born. Before he went back into his parents' country, was able to now come in through the ranks in 1992, 1993. Sir Alex Ferguson also called him to be his right-hand man. And along the line, Sir Alex Ferguson even called him one of the most important people, or one of the most experienced coaches that he's worked with, one of the best football brains, he said, that he's worked with. So this particular person is coming in with some sort of profile, some sort of aura, some sort of
juicy experience.
Yes, juicy experience, as you put it. But his assistant has come in to say that the task ahead of them for the Black Stars job is one of the most difficult ever that they have faced. Now he says that I've been watching a lot of films, videos, watching different players with different clubs. The biggest challenge is obviously to select a team without having really enough time, and obviously the preparations are also very short. You've got about 2 weeks to prepare your team. That's what Roger Desai is saying. And you've got about 2 weeks to prepare your team, and just 2 weeks to prepare the team for the World Cup. And then it is the aim, calling players. He said he's been watching films, they've been looking at player personality profiles and the ones that will fit in this particular Black Stars job. Calling players won't be easy for them, Benedict Williams.
Yeah, I think it won't be easy. That is the right thing to say. I mean, at this point, but also looking at what is at stake, I think each and every professional player out there would want to play for their national their country, and then looking at what is at stake now. That is the World Cup that is going to be played very soon in June. I think players are very willing and able, ready to play for their countries. Now the issue here, or the challenge here, is the readiness of the players. There are a lot of players out there for each role. I'm very certain that there are about 7 to 8 players available for each role for every country. I mean, let's use Ghana as an example. We have a lot of, even the striker position, we have a lot of players who are ready to play that role. Aside the people who don't want to naturalize, who don't want to play for the country, they want to play for another country, but those who are really available are there. But as to make the selection, that is where the problem is. So it goes back again to the technical team or the member team Carlos is putting up to help him. He cannot do everything on his own. He cannot do everything on his own. And so far as we have the scouts, we have trainers out there. They've also seen certain things that maybe may elude the eyes of Carlos Queiroz. So they are going to help him in various ways. It's going to be difficult, but I think if his team is capable, the team he's trying to put up, if they are capable, if they are ready, it's a short time, but they'll be able to bring up a stronger team. We have the likes of Jordan Ayew, whose caliber of players are maybe the older generation, let me put it that way. We have the Thomas Partey, who is in the middle generation kind of, and we have the Semenyo's squad too, who are the younger generation. So it is just, I have grouped them into 3, just as I've said. So just look at these 3 groups of players, and then do your call-ups, and I think it will help the team as a whole.
Talking about call-ups, Derek, now, with these call-ups, are we going to make them independent? Is he going to have the final say? Because we've heard time and time again that the GFA president has come out to say that no coach will be given the 100% license and freedom to be calling up players that he thinks will be ready and available for the World Cup, all by himself. That means there's going to be some sort of external influence. Now, if these external influences are coming without any tactical knowledge behind them, then it goes a long way to say that merit-based selection is not being taken into consideration. Just before you come in, there was an interview by one Black Stars player, Joseph Pencil. So now Joseph Pencil came out and he said that the coach called him that because football is not all about goals, and he's a forward player, so he's not going to be called despite the fact that he's doing well. And you could tell that was not directly from the coach, but he had to say that. So these things are there, and they influence the performance of the coaches, they influence the performance of the team when it comes to the selection of the Black Stars. What do you think?
So personally, I would want to ask this basic question. If you have to say the coach is not given the 100% freedom to make his selection, then why then do we appoint a coach? Because that's the question. A coach is appointed to have that freedom and will to be able to perform. If you are not given that will to be able to select who and who you think can fit into this role, because every coach has their system and their style of play. So when a coach is not given that opportunity to be able to select his players, then I think that's where we are getting it all wrong. And earlier on, I think somewhere around last week, I sat here and I mentioned that appointing him as a coach is not a wrong thing at all. Comparing the number of coaches we've had in the Black Stars, if we are to rank them up, he's definitely going to be the one on top in terms of experience and everything. But then the question again has to do with time, because if you are going to do player selections, if you are going to call up players, how are you going to call these players up? It's definitely going to be based on their performance with their various clubs. And even if you are going to select these players, how consistent have they played? Because currently, how many league matches do we have left in the various leagues our players play for?
So with that being said, now with what the comments that you mentioned about how many weeks do they have to prepare,
yes,
that brought my mind to the fact that Roger Desa mentioned that they have approximately 2 weeks to prepare for the World Cup. Now, some people are seeing this as they've already started giving excuses should in case things don't go according to plan.
Exactly. For me, I've always said that we shouldn't have this whole big thoughts that Ghana is going there to the quarterfinals. Or we are football fans and we know how football goes. Things happen. A lot of things can happen in football. You might end up having the worst team up there. But then all I can say now is we should just have that hope. Let's give it that football.
Let's not have that hope.
Yes.
That, we shouldn't. We are going to do something there.
Yes. We shouldn't put much of our hearts into this, because it's a very big risk. Appointing these coaches at this time is a very big risk we've taken, and I'm not sure it can end up well for us if we are to look at it technically. But then who knows what we have or what we can have in the future.
Yes, so Benedict, I would like you to come in.
Yeah, so we know the records of Carlos Queiroz, and then at least we've seen him in action. I see him as a defensive coach. I don't know if someone sees an opposite side of him. And then with this Black Stars team, this is not a defensive team. So this is where I had a problem with his appointment. I'm sure we've already discussed, the team has already discussed his appointment. This is where I had the issue I had with his appointment. But then I also believe that, the World Cup, from time and time, it's just recently that now World Cups, we are scoring goals, people are available to score goals and all, but then from time and time, you can just score 1 or 2, and then you hold on till the end. So I also believe that since we have the men, we have strong boys. Unfortunately, I don't think Kudus will be able to play, but if the coach is able to put things together right, if he's allowed to operate in the spectrum that he has to operate, I beg to differ. I hate it to disagree with my brother, but I think the team will do better. One, consider the teams that we are playing against.
We are going to play against England. We are going to play against Croatia.
And then
we are going to play against Panama.
Yes. We don't need to do much. We just don't need to do much.
Sure?
You just yes. I've seen the England team.
Have you considered how some of these teams have taken their time to prepare their team?
England has the core of their team coming in from the past 8 years.
Yes, and you look at the process they had to go through to appoint their coach. Look at the time we had to take for the coach to come in.
So now the coach, one will argue that the coach knows his boys. He knows who to play, when to play. But we saw them during the international break. We saw the games they were playing, and England was performing woefully.
Oh no, but if you're supposed to judge the international break and just supposing that against the performances, then Ghana lost 5-1 to Austria. Ghana lost 2-1 to and then England didn't even use the best of their players.
That's what I'm saying.
Rice didn't play.
Let's not write.
Bukayo Saka didn't play.
Foden, yes.
And the likes.
Let's not write off the Black Stars. I believe in the boys so much. I don't know where I'm getting this conviction from. But I believe in the boys so much that they can do better. And with the experience of the coach, even though he's a defensive coach, I believe that we don't have to do much. We just have to hold the teams we play against, and we just need 1 or 2 chances, convert those 1 or 2 chances, and then we'll be through with it.
Who will do the conversion?
Anyway,
so now we have the list of the technical team of the Black Stars. So Black Stars technical team is touted to have been confirmed. I got this from very confidential sources. So Carlos Queiroz is the head coach. Carlos Akwesi, Nana Akwesi Queiroz, he's the head coach. And then the assistant is his long-time best friend called Roger Desa. He's the assistant coach. And then this particular name, I think he's being groomed for the Black Stars, considering how he performed when he came to the African Games that we had in Ghana that we won. So that's Desmond Ofer. He is the second assistant coach. And then we have Danny Gaspar. That's Daniel Gaspar, who is the goalkeeping coach. And then we have Abdul Fattah Dauda as the assistant goalkeepers coach. And then we have 1 physical trainer, and then we have 3 video analysts, 2 of them which are from Otto Addo's team. That means Gregory DeVille is definitely going to stay, in addition to other people that will be added to his team, and 1 physical trainer. So this is the list of the technical team of the Black Stars. What would you make of this against the ones that we've had previously? That the ones that we had previously even included a former AFCON winner as part of we had a team psychologist and all that. But these people, they are not part of the technical team for the Black Stars.
Well, for me, I think the team is okay. I think it's an okay team. Looking at the mixture we have in there with Desmond Ofer and Fattah Dauda being maintained in there, if you are to even assess these people based on their individual performances, you would all agree with me. Fattah Dauda has been spectacular in terms of play, and then on the coaching side, for me, I think he's done well. I don't know. Yeah, personally, I think he's done well. He's done well. I don't know how you are assessing them, but on my personal assessment, I think Fattah Dauda has done a very good job in terms of the goalkeeping side. And then with Desmond Ofer too coming in there, I think it's going to be a very good platform for him to groom himself into that role in the future as the head coach. We never know. Looking at his performance from the African Games, as you said, he did very, very, very well. And I think we need such individuals. But then again, you know what it takes to coach the Black Stars.
So it looks as though he's being groomed. Maybe after Carlos Queiroz, or maybe if another manager should come in, maybe then thereafter we would have Desmond Ofer come in as the head coach of the senior national team, the Black Stars. Because when you look at Desmond Ofer and his performance, and you look at how he's grown into from coaching the 20s to 23s, and then thereafter he's now come to the senior national team, the Black Stars, where he's learned under coach Otto Addo. He's learned under the former, what's his name? The former Cameroonian coach who was part of the technical team. So he was rubbing brains and shoulders with them. Now he's going to learn from someone who has learned from, or in his position, from Sir Alex Ferguson, who's coached the Iranian national team. Now, this is the kind of experiences that you need to pick up. You come and get some technical acumen from all the other areas, and then maybe propel you further. What do you think about that, Benedict? Do you think that Desmond Ofer can take over the helm of affairs, maybe immediately after the Black Stars World Cup campaign?
Let us not set up Desmond Tufailo. Something. I don't think he has to rush himself into that role. At least just not now. We've had our past coach, the one who moved to Sudan. I forgot his name. Kwesi Appiah. He was young. He's very good at his job, but then the politics in our football ruined Kwesi Appiah. It's just like Kwame Nkrumah. When Kwame Nkrumah was, the prime minister of this country, we had to use different tactics to move him. For him to go and, be a co-president to another country. And look at what the country did. That's the same thing. Kwesi Appiah, we did the same thing. He had to move to Sudan. And look at what he did in Sudan. They scored us in the AFCON games and all that. So I think Desmond should just take his time. He's looking at the technical team. I believe, again, Otuado did panic selection when he was getting his technical team. There were a lot of people. There were lots of people. But then look at the experienced coach. Look at how he's appointing his members. Even though he has a very short time, he's not panic, calling people or selecting team members to come and help him. He's calling people based on experience, and he's using the younger generation or the people who already know the team, and he's joining his experienced members with those members. We have evidences is the Fatah Dauda. He's a goalkeeper's coach. He knows. I mean, he's experienced in it. He knows.
Is it the same Fatah Dauda we are talking about?
It's the same Fatah Dauda. I mean, he knows our keepers very well, and then he has brought in an experienced goalkeepers trainer to come and join with him, and then do a better job. Hopefully, better than the results we had earlier. So I am not going to rush Desmond. I don't think he should push himself into that kind of spectrum where you want to coach the Black Stars. At least just not now. He should still go on, maybe move to other teams, move to other younger clubs in the country or outside Europe or Africa, and then build up something for himself, build up that confidence, because to be able to withstand the insults, the persuasion, all this stress from the country.
Don't you think he would have been able to cope with that, considering the fact that he's worked with Otuado, who came under such scrutiny?
How many people mentioned his name under Otuado when Otuado was failing?
Personally, I think one of the questions, the important questions we should be asking now, has to do with the independency of appointing our coaches, as to whether the coach will be able to perform independently without influence from anywhere as to who he selects to play or who he selects to be on his technical team. Because looking at some of the lists appearing on Carlos's technical side, there are a lot of question marks there.
So I'll mention the names once again and then the list once again. So there's Carlos Queiroz as the head coach. And then there's Roger Desa, who is his assistant, who has come to say that it's not going to be an easy job. Roger Desa has been his friend since 1992 when they started their footballing journey together. Now we have Desmond Ofei as the second assistant. Yes. And then we have Daniel Gaspar. So Daniel Gaspar, I'm sure we have his image on there, because Daniel Gaspar has been touted to come and join the coaching staff of Coach Otuado. Now Daniel Gaspar is going to come in with a wealth of experience, and he's going to come in as the goalkeeper's coach. That's the new goalkeeper's coach. So that's him in your picture there, Daniel Gaspar. He's trained coaches like Edwin van der Sar. He's trained coaches also like that is
keepers. He's trained
goalkeepers, I should say, like Edwin van der Sar. He's trained goalkeepers. Quite a few of them that have been. He's also worked with Jens Lehmann. He's worked with Guillermo Ochoa of Mexico. He's worked with top goalkeepers, and then their performances have been great. So we hope that he can actually do some magic with Benjamin Asare when it comes to this, and Lawrence Atizigi and the likes of Abdulmanaf Nuruddin and all of that. Yeah. So now Dan Gaspar is joining the Black Stars technical team. So I'll continue with the list as I was mentioning. And then we have Fatah Dauda as the second goalkeeper assistant coach, as the second assistant goalkeeper's coach. So now we have 3 video analysts, which definitely will include Gregory Deviel, who was part of Otuado's team. So 3 video analysts from Otuado's team, because I'm sure they have the tapes, they have all the documents and all that for the Black Stars, and then 1 physical trainer. one physical trainer. So that is the complete makeup of the technical team. For the last time, Carlos Queiroz, head coach, Roger Desa, assistant coach, Desmond Ofei, second assistant, Danny Gaspar, goalkeepers coach, and then we have Fatah Dauda, second assistant goalkeepers coach, and then we have 3 video analysts, 2 from Otuado's team. That is 1 additional video analyst that is going to come from Carlos Queiroz's team, and then 1 physical trainer. So this was the team that he requested to work with, and then he's been provided with. So this is from very, very highly confidential sources. I'm sure as time goes on, tomorrow during the unveiling, they'll unveil or they'll confirm this list, as I've mentioned, the technical team of the Black Stars. So there we have it. Black Stars technical team confirmed for the World Cup 2026. Well, it's been confirmed here on Clockspot. So maybe if it should come tomorrow, bring the unveiling, you know that you heard it here first. Carlos Queiroz is the head coach, Roger Desa, assistant coach, Desmond Ofei, second assistant coach, Danny Gaspar, goalkeepers coach, Fatah Dauda, second assistant goalkeepers coach, and then we're going to have 3 video analysts, 2 from Otuado's team, and then 1 physical trainer. Let us know your thoughts, let us know your concerns, let us know what you think about this technical team. Would they be enough? Would they be strong enough to take the Black Stars to the World Cup? And even beyond, would they be enough to take us beyond the group stages, the round of 16, the quarterfinals, and then also semi-finals, and then maybe finals, and then win the penultimate? Would this team be competent enough to do that? Let us know your thoughts, your comments by texting this number 0500500421. The number is 0500500421. That's the number that you can send us a message on, and we'll be kind enough to read your thoughts, your comments, your concerns for you. So our phone, WhatsApp lines are fully active. Guys, I'll give you last 5 minutes before we go on the break on the technical team of the Black Stars.
Yes, I believe I keep on looking at the list, and I'm trying to, compare the technical team of Otuado to this, and then it's just the same thing that keeps on ringing: experience. That is the main difference in this kind of the technical team by Carlos Queiroz, and then I think we should give him the chance. I know after the World Cup, that is when we'll determine whether he will stay permanently for some time or not. But I think we should give him the time, considering the period to which we have appointed him, and then when he has to, deliver. And I believe he's I mean, we have him now, so he's a right man. So let's give him the opportunity to operate in his own circle, in his own understanding. Let's take away that influence that I am this person, I'm that person, play my player, play this person. It distorts the orientation of the team, the plans of the coach to build something better for the country. This is for us. This is what we have. So I think let's give him the room and see how best he can operate with what he has.
Let's give him the room to see how best he operates with what he has. Derek, your final words on the Black Stars technical team.
Yeah, so personally, I think it's a very good team. Looking at the mixture we have in there with people who were closer or whom he's worked with, and you know how it takes to work with someone you're comfortable with, how you know well about what the person is up to and what the person can give you in terms of productivity. Yes, so I think it's a good team put together. But then let's look at what they can give us out of the World Cup. Then we look at the Black Star project in a very large, scale. Yeah, we're asked to whether the likes of Daniel Ofei can handle the team. I think let's just focus on the World Cup now, and then after we see how things will go.
Okay, let's just focus on the World Cup. And focusing on the World Cup, focusing on the Black Stars, focusing on the left back position. That's where we are going to at the moment, because Carlos Queiroz, I'm being told, has called upon Baba Rahman to come back to the Black Stars to come and help the team for this particular World Cup. Baba Rahman is an experienced Black Stars player who's been playing for the senior national team, the Black Stars, for quite a while. And then he stopped playing for the Black Stars, that is in September 2023, after we played one of our matches, and then there was a lot of backlash. We were playing in an AFCON qualifier then, the AFCON that we didn't qualify. So he actually contacted Baba Rahman that You know, Baba, come and help the team. I would like for you to be in this team for the World Cup. And not only him, I'm being told that the likes of Caleb Kuban and Jeffrey Schlupp are also being contacted to see whether they can come back to the senior national teams set up to see whether they can help.
Yeah, so looking at the case of Baba Rahman, I would want to take us back to his injury situation when he had to come and play for the Black Stars and then obtaining an injury which had to set him back.
Yeah.
And you know, with some of these injuries, it's not a difficult journey for the players to have an injury and then sit back and then stay away from what you love to do and then what you do every day and then come back and perform on the level at which you were or on a higher level is one thing that is difficult to do. So with me, I feel at a point we Ghanaians and the Black Star in general didn't treat Baba Rahman well. You know, as players have their down moments.
Yeah.
You don't always get 100% from players. So I think what we did to him wasn't a rightful thing to do. So I think calling him back is the rightful thing to do. Even looking at his current form and the number of goals he's been scoring lately in their league, I wish we could pull his stats for us to look at.
Definitely. When you're done with your this thing, I'll pull Baba Rahman.
Yes, but then if you look at his performance lately, he's doing well as a left back. Looking at the number of goals he's scoring and the quality of goals he's even producing should tell us a lot that this is someone we need to bring back. And then even looking at the situation, the whole happenings, what he had to go through as an individual, sacrificing to play for his country. You know, there's also an argument as to his ties with the GFA president and all that. But you know, this is football. And then this is a player who is very talented. This is a player who was in Chelsea, who had to play for Chelsea. And you know what it would take to be in Chelsea. So for me, I feel it's right that we have Baba Rahman back in the team.
The likes of Jeffrey Schlupp.
Yes, and I think we need the quality. Looking at the deficits or the problems we are having with our left back at the moment, I think it's rightful that we call all these players back to help us going forward.
Benedict, so I'll let you have a bite of this particular one, but just because you mentioned Baba Rahman stats, Baba Rahman moved to the Greek Super League in 2023-24 season. In his first 28 games, he scored 5 goals, gave 3 assists. The following year as well, he equaled it. 29 games, he scored 5 goals, gave 3 assists. And then in his last league, or this particular league season, 21 games, 2 goals, 1 assist. That means he's on par to match his league performance. Baba Rahman is a clean player because he's had all season just 1 yellow card, 0 red cards.
Yeah.
So he's a player that is very, very neat in his tackle, but always there as well, aggressive, always on the front foot. But he's 31 years of age now. This could be his last major tournament for the senior national team, the Black Stars. Benedict.
Yes, Baba Rahman, this issue with Baba Rahman, it's very dicey whenever I think about it. I'm always, it's sad the way he was treated. But then again, I feel like this is Ghanaians and this is what we love to do. If we don't get that kind of response or that kind of play on that level from you, we forget about what we've done before and we just concentrate on the present. This is a gentleman who was playing at the top level for the country. Unfortunately, he had to go on injury, and then he came back from after the injury. He wasn't playing at that top level. But then we forget that as footballers, they are human beings, and it takes some time to be able to build your confidence, especially when it has to do with a team that you don't play all the time. It's just during international breaks, that's when you get to play, or during tournaments, you get to play. So Ghanaians didn't treat him well, but then again, we also have the right to feel the way we felt, because we expect you to do better. Nobody is praying for your downfall. If we want you to fail, you should fail in your club, on the club level, not at the national level, where we want to do better. So match is given to you, so we want match from you, and we feel like Baba Rahman should have, we know he can do better than what he was doing. I think that's why the backlash was so much, and that kind of speculation that you mentioned that he has ties with the GFA and all that. People felt like, but Baraman, he hadn't played a lot of games on a club level, so how come he's just being put into the national team all of a sudden? This is because he has, allegedly he has ties with the GFA team, and then it brought about a lot of, distaste or people didn't really like the idea. So it created that kind of impression that people felt like, we don't need Baba Rahman anymore, let's put him aside. And like you mentioned, his age. He's 30, getting to 31 years of age. And I think aside the experience parts that he has,